Hello, thanks for joining me. This is Dr. Michael Young, and I'm going to be teaching our Business Administration 465 International Business course. So in this short introductory video, I am going to go over the course outline, talk about some of the expectations, go over the course schedule, and try to answer any questions you might have. So sit back, take notes, and enjoy this little presentation. All right, I'm sharing my screen with you now. So when you open up our Moodle page, this is what you'll see. This has my location, contact information. I happen to be teaching Monday and Wednesday in Cole Complex, so these are my office hours. This is all around my classes. I usually don't come in on Tuesday and Thursday unless I have some sort of an appointment or something, but oftentimes I'm there, so just check in first. Now, if you go down here and click this link, you'll go into our course syllabus. Yeah, so course syllabus, International Management, this has the information here. I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff about this course and why it's interesting. First off, let me say that I think International Management is the most interesting course that you can take at West Virginia State University. It's one of the most interesting ones because we get to talk about things that are happening all around the world and examine international business in all of these different places. Personally, my career has been spent mostly outside of the United States. I spent most of my career actually in Hong Kong. And so I've traveled all around the world, and I've been studying international business, international management for years and years. Taught students in lots of different places, and I can't think of anything more exciting or interesting to do than to study international management. So I'm going to try to make you excited and interested in this topic too. So we have the normal stuff here: course description and objectives, outcomes. I think this is all pretty straightforward. Our textbook is Hill. Actually, it's 14th edition. Let's see here. Yeah, this is it right here. This is what it looks like. And you're also going to need to get the McGraw-Hill. You can get e-textbook. You can get 13th edition probably, but you will need to buy the access code for the McGraw-Hill Connect because part of your assessment is going to be in the form of SmartBook reading assignments. So talking about assessment, let's jump right into that because I know that's what people are most interested in usually. This is how you're going to be assessed. We've got 6 discussions at 30 points each. First one is due the first week. We have 14 SmartBook assignments. Each of those are 10 points each. Now try to set those so those will take anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. Try to not make them overly taxing, so you should be able to do those in under an hour. But I mean, that's something you need to do each week. There's one for each of the different modules. And, we're not meeting face to face, and so this is one of the things that we can do is to take advantage of this technological wizardry, you might say, and have these SmartBook assignments. So next part is quizzes. Every 2 weeks, there's going to be a quiz. So that comes out of 7 quizzes. Each quiz is on 2 chapters. Each quiz consists of 40 questions. Each question is worth 1 point. All right, so that comes out to 280 points. Then we have our midterm and final exams. And unlike some professors here at West Virginia State University, I don't teach any 8-week courses. All my courses are 16 or nothing because I don't think that 8 weeks is enough time to really absorb the material. I think that's going too fast. And I also don't do just multiple choice exams, both midterm and final. I do essay questions. So we'll talk more about that later, but in the past, the midterm and final exams have taken a couple of hours each, and I believe we have maybe 8 to 10 questions. I'll have more information about that later. So this means that we have 1,000 points possible. And so let me also say that Moodle, or the My Online, as you guys call it, it's a platform called Moodle. It's pretty popular all around the world. But anyway, it's notoriously user unfriendly to teachers. So I'm going to ask you for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, don't pay any attention to the grade book in Moodle. Look at your grade that you're getting on each of the assignments, but the total is going to be, it's almost always messed up because it's got to communicate with the McGraw-Hill software and so forth, and it usually messes up. And so after about the 3rd or 4th week, I'll go in and straighten that up. But if you have any questions, make sure you just email me or stop by my office to let me know. And so with that, grading scale is pretty standard. 90 to 100, A. 80 to 89, B. 70 to 79, C. 60 to 69, D. And below 60 is an F. All right? So, yeah, I believe that's pretty straightforward. There's further discussion here, right? And no proctored exams, so we don't have to talk about that. Now, I'm going to jump over and talk a little bit about the schedule. So we go back over to here. This is our first page, our My Online page. So first thing we're going to talk about is just globalization. Now for each of these, you have a little Michael's introduction to the topic here. This is a little video that I created. It's a year old. These videos I made last year. But I mean, you know, there's no need really in me updating because the content hasn't changed using the same edition. So there's a little link to that. And then we have the objectives, reading assignment, and this is the PowerPoint files, supplemental resources, and here we have the lesson activity. This is our first discussion. This is graded. And basically, this one is asking you whether you believe that globalization has been good or bad for West Virginia. I happen to live right across the river from the Toyota Motor Manufacturing in West Virginia plant, which is in Buffalo. I happen to live in Fraser's Bottom, the beautiful metropolis of Fraser's Bottom. But I can look across the river and see the plant, especially at night whenever it's all lit up and everything else around it is dark. So, I mean, that's a good thing, right? You might have heard about the Nucor steel plant that's coming in down at Mason County. There's a green bus company that's supposed to be building electric buses in in South Charleston. Yeah, so those are examples of good globalization. But now, the examples of bad globalization. I mean, there are parts of globalization that are not so great, right? Many of you maybe have grandparents or aunts and uncles or other family or friends that have lost their job due to competition with other countries. It's a controversial issue. The former President Donald Trump rode to wave on what we might call populism, and one of the pillars of his platform was Make America Great Again, and he wanted to bring those jobs back to the United States. So that side of the argument would say that, hey, there's some people that haven't benefited from globalization. So I'm going to ask you to comment on that for our first assignment. Now, before I go on to the second module, second week, I want to go up here and show you this link. This is the link that takes you to the Smart Book reading assignments. So anytime you want to do your Smart Book assignment, you got to do one every week. It's due before Sunday. You go in through this link. This will take you to your McGraw-Hill page. You got to get in your access code. Get your access code from the bookstore. Put it in there. It will take you there, and you do your Smart Book assignment every week. So you'll do a Smart Book reading assignment on Chapter 1, right? But then you also do a Smart Book reading assignment for Chapter 2. For each of the chapters, each of the modules, you do a Smart Book reading assignment. Second one, we're talking about national differences in political, economic, and legal systems. I happen to do research in this area. My research is in the area of Chinese corporate governance. I lived for 20 years, nearly 20 years, 19 years in China, and I was able to travel all around China, observe business, and also go to visit different universities and do research on this topic. And so I find the topic very interesting. And the national, political, legal systems we sometimes just refer to, lump them together as institutions. Institutions are socially created aspects of our reality, and they differ from place to place. So, very exciting topic. Now, in this particular week, after you've done chapters 1 and 2, your SmartBook assignments, you will do a quiz, all right? And you click on that link, and it tells you you've got 45 minutes to do 40 questions. This comes from chapters 1 and 2. There are 40 questions. Each of the questions is worth 1 point, so 40 points possible. Right? Next thing we talk about in Module 3 are national differences in economic development. Economies are not developed equally, you might say. Some places are extremely poor, and some places are extremely rich. And most countries have aspects of both. But this talks about how institutions that we talked about in the previous module affect economic development, and that creates differences across different countries. So this is Module 3. We will have another graded discussion. I haven't come up with that topic yet, but I promise you it will be there before that week starts. And so this one is going to be due on February 5. You look up here, and this shows you when this stuff is all going to be due. Next one, differences in culture. This is one of my most favorite topics in the whole wide world. And one of the reasons that people love to travel, and some of you probably have traveled abroad, some of you may even be international students, so you know what I'm talking about. Foods, customs, sights, sounds, different religions, all of these things are part of what makes life so interesting on planet Earth. Just think how boring it would be if every place was the same. It's one of the reasons that I wish I was still younger, I would still be abroad, and I encourage you to take every chance that you can to study and move and to travel and to even work abroad, maybe even live abroad. So again, we do another quiz, same format, 40 questions, this time on chapters 3 and 4. Next module, 13 to 19, ethics, corporate social responsibility, and sustainability. We will also have another discussion here. Again, that one will be presented to you later. Now listen, we have non-graded discussions, and so I might start a topic about just a discussion here, and this is just for fun, just to see if we have something we want to talk about. Something is happening internationally, I might put something out there that you guys see this, and we just might do that. It's not graded. It's just for our own personal interests. This one we do another quiz. This is our third quiz, chapters 5 and 6. Then we go into our module 7. Module 7 goes into government policy. We will have a graded discussion here. Module 8, foreign direct investment. Speaking of Toyota again, notice how I started off this section. My hometown of Buffalo, actually, even though I live in Frazier's Bottom, I went to school at Buffalo High School. Go Bison! We've benefited immensely from Toyota, foreign direct investment, FDI. So this talks about reasons for FDI, why companies would do it, benefits to both the companies and the countries involved and the people. This is our fourth quiz, 7 and 8. Then we go into spring break. Nothing. Spring break you have off. This is a 16-week module. Unlike your 8-week modules, which you're just burning through, we have a little bit more time to catch our breath. 13th to 19th, we'll be doing our spring break. Nothing. Don't even contact me. No, I'm just joking. You can send me a picture from the beach when you're sipping your pina colada and getting a suntan. And I'll post it for everyone to see. After we get back from spring break, March 20th, we start talking about economic integration. Now for this one, we will have our midterm exam. All right. And that's probably going to be, let me think about that. Probably, I got to make it up, which I'll do before the exam. I'll probably give you a couple of hours, and it's going to be maybe 8 questions. I'm not sure. Then we go into our 10th module, which is foreign exchange. We have a quiz. Then we go into module 11, monetary system. We have our 5th graded discussion. So each one of these, you'll notice that I have a little link to a video that you can watch, as well as reading assignments, supplemental resources, etc. Module 12 is global capital markets, and we do our 6th quiz. 13th, we actually start talking about strategies of businesses. That's our 6th graded discussion. And then our last module, 14, is, again, more organization. How global operations are directed, right? And that's our quiz 7. Then we go into final exam. That's the last week. Our last week of class, we will do our final exam. Hey, it's me again. So, if you have any questions, email me. Come by my office. I'm a pretty approachable guy. I know a lot about international business, international management. And so if there's something you would like to discuss, anything at all, just let me know. I think this is going to be a great semester. See you next time.